In lieu of my recent video production, I have re-listened to the entire video in small snippets of 4 seconds, and I've realized something. My voice is not exactly the most entertaining to hear when I'm crunched up in my house with a bunch of paper on a second take after 37 minutes of recording and then having to redo it for an hour. So instead of learning from my mistakes, I'm going to instead start a series of Wikipedia readings where I'm just going to read the entire Wikipedia article, and that's the entire video. And I don't know who is meant to be watching this. Maybe blind people who just haven't figured out how to turn on audio settings in certain apps. But I think somebody might be able to figure it out. I'm not a failure at public speaking, I know that for a fact. But I do feel like my reading aloud of certain articles could be improved. So instead of addressing that directly, I will be doing this. Enjoy. Fuck. Gazprom. PGSC, Gazprom, Russian, I can't spell that, is a Russian majority state-owned multinational energy corporation headquartered in the Lakhta sector in St. Petersburg. The Gazprom name is a contraction of the Russian word Gazovaya Pромышленность, gas industry. In January 2022, Gazprom displaced Sberbank from the first place in the list of the largest companies in Russia by market capitalization. In 2022, the company's revenue amounted to 8 trillion rubles. Gazprom is vertically integrated and is active in every area of the gas industry, including exploration and production, refining, transport, distribution, and marketing, as well as power generation. In 2018, Gazprom produced 12% of the global output of natural gas, producing 497.6 billion cubic meters of natural and associated gas and 15.9 million tons of gas condensate. Gazprom then exports the gas through the pipelines that the company builds and owns across Russia and abroad, such as the Power of Siberia and the Turk Stream. In the same year, Gazprom has proven reserves of 35.1 trillion cubic meters of gas and 1.6 billion tons of gas condensate. Gazprom is also a large oil producer through its subsidiary Gazprom Neft, producing about 41 million tons of oil with reserves accounting to 2 billion tons. The company also has subsidiaries in industrial sectors, including finance, media, and aviation, and a majority stakes in other companies. Gazprom was created in 1989 when the Soviet Ministry of Gas Industry was converted to a corporation, becoming the first state-run corporate enterprise in the Soviet Union. After the Soviet Union's dissolution, Gazprom was privatized, retaining its Russia-based assets. At that time, Gazprom evaded taxes and state regulation and engaged in asset stripping. The company later returned to the government control in early 2000s, and since then the company has been involved in the Russian government's diplomatic efforts, setting up gas prices and access to pipelines. The company is a majority owned by the Russian government via the Federal Agency for State Property and Management and Rosenegats. While the remaining shares are traded publicly, Gazprom is listed on the Moscow Exchange. Many arbitration cases have been decided against Gazprom. History. First subpoint. Origin. In 1943, during World War II, the government of the Soviet Union developed a domestic gas industry. In 1965, it centralized gas exploration, development, and the distribution within the Ministry of Gas Industry. In the 1970s and 80s, the Ministry of Gas Industry found large natural gas reserves in Siberia, the Ural region, and the Volga region. The Soviet Union became a major gas producer in August of 1989. under the leadership of the Minister of Gas Industry of the Soviet Union, 1985 to 1989, Viktor Chernomyrdin. The Ministry of Gas Industry was renamed the state gas concern Gazprom and became the Soviet Union's first state-run corporate enterprise in late 1991. When the Soviet Union dissolved, the gas industry assets were transferred to the newly established national companies such as Naftogaz and Turkmengaz. Gazprom kept assets located in Russia and a secured monopoly in the gas sector. Sub-Area 2 Privatization. In December 1992, when Boris Yeltsin, the Russian president, appointed Viktor Chernomyrdin Gazprom's chairman, his prime minister, the company's political influence increased. Rem Vierkirev took the chairman of Gazprom's board of directors and managing committee, following the decree of the president of the Russian Federation of the 5th of November 1992 and the resolution of the government of Russia of 17th of February 1993. Gazprom became a joint stock company. Gazprom began to distribute shares under the voucher method. Each Russian citizen received vouchers to purchase shares of formerly state-owned companies. By 1994, 33% of Gazprom's shares were bought by 747,000 members of the public, mostly in exchange for vouchers. 15% of the stock was allocated to Gazprom employees. The state retained 40% of the shares. That amount was gradually lowered to 38%. Trading of Gazprom's shares was heavily regulated. Foreigners were prohibited from owning more than 9% of the shares. In October of 1996, 1% of Gazprom's equity was offered for sale to foreigners at Global Depository Receipts. In 1997, Gazprom ordered a bond issue of U.S. currency $2.5 billion. Chernomyrdin, as Prime Minister of Russia, ensures Gazprom's avoided tight state regulation. Gazprom evaded taxes, and the government of Russia received little in dividends. Gazprom managers and board members such as Chernomyrdin and Gazprom's chief executive officer Rem Vierkirev engaged in asset stripping. Gazprom assets were shared among their relatives. Itera, a gas trading company, also received Gazprom assets. In March of 1998, for reasons unrelated to the activities at Gazprom, Chernomyrdin was fired by Yeltsin. On the 30th of June 1998, Chernomyrdin was made chairman of the board of directors of Gazprom. State control, also known as Subsection 3. When in June of 2000, Vladimir Putin became the president of Russia, he acted to gain control over Russia's oligarchs and increased the government of Russia's control in important companies through the program of national champions. Putin fired Chernomyrdin from his position as chairman of the Gazprom board. The Russian government's stock in Gazprom gave Putin the power to vote out Vierkirev. Chernomyrdin and Vierkirev were replaced by Dmitry Medvedev and Alexei Miller. They were Putin's prior employees in St. Petersburg. Putin's actions were aided by the shareholders' activism of Hermitage Capital Management Chief Executive William Browder and the former Russian Finance Minister Boris Fyodorov. That fucking word. God damn it. Fyodorov. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like that. Miller and Medvedev were in the stop asset stripping of Gazprom and to recover losses. Itera was denied access to Gazprom's pipelines and became close to bankruptcy in 2006. Itera agreed to return stolen assets to Gazprom for a fee. Browder was deported from Russia in 2005, and the Russian arm of the Hermitage Capital Management was seized 2 years later. In April of 2001, Gazprom acquired NTV, Russia's only nationwide state independent television station, from Vladimir Gusinski's company Media Most Holdings. Gusinski fell out of Putin's favor after using NTV to publish criticism for the families of sailors who died in the cursed submarine disaster, and the additional criticism of Putin's handling of the Second Chechen War. Gusinski fled Russia following Gazprom to take over NTV without his opposition. In 2005, Gazprom Bank, Gazprom Invest Holdings, Gas Fund, and Gaz Finance B.V. subsidiaries of Gazprom sold a 10.7399% share of their stock for $7 billion to Rosneft, a state-owned company. Some analysts said that the amount paid by Rosneft for the stock was too low. The sale was completed by 25th of December 2005, with the purchased stock and the 38% share held by the State Property Committee. The government of Russia gained control of Gazprom. The government of Russia revoked the Gazprom 20% foreign ownership rule, and the company became open to foreign investment. In 2005, Gazprom bought 72.63 and another 3% of the oil company Sipneft for $13.01 billion. Sipneft was renamed Gazprom Neft. The purchase was aided by the $12 billion loan. Gazprom became Russia's largest company. On the day of the deal, the company was valued at around 69.7 billion pounds, or in the U.S. currency, $123.2 billion. In 2006, on gas export was enacted with a nearly unanimous vote from the State Duma. This law gave Gazprom the exclusive rights to export natural gas from Russia. In December of 2006, Gazprom signed an agreement with the Royal Dutch Shell, Mitsui and Mitsubishi companies to take over 50% plus one share of Sakhalin Energy. In 2007, TNK BP, a subsidiary of BP plc, agreed to sell its stake in Kofitka field in Siberia to Gazprom after the government of Russia questioned BP's right to export gas from Russia. On August 1st of 2007, Gazprom's Sergei Kupriyanov threatened Belarus with a stoppage of gas flow if the latter failed to pay off their debts, and so they would see a 300% price increase. 2 days later, he saw a significant progress toward his debt payment, and he expected the rest to be paid by the next week. On June the 23rd of 2007, the governments of Russia and Italy signed a memorandum of understanding towards a joint venture between Gazprom and NISPA to conduct a 558-mile or 900-kilometer gas pipeline to carry 1.05 trillion cubic feet or 30 kilometers to the third power gas. Wait a second. Gas per year from Russia to Europe. This South Stream pipeline would extend under the Black Sea to Bulgaria, with a south fork to Italy and a north fork to Hungary. On December 18th of 2007, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, who was then the foreign minister to Germany, and Dmitry Medvedev signed an agreement on behalf of the BASF to exploit another gas field at the time. At the time, German demand was 40% covered by Russian supply. Some German academics warned that Germany had become too dependent of Russia, but Steinmeier cited a new Ostpolitik disregarding them. On the 11th of February 2008, Kupriyanov threatened Ukraine with a stoppage of flow. In January of 2009, the threat was executed, beginning the 2009 Ukraine-Russia gas dispute. BASF's Jürgen Hambrecht was concerned about the reliability of his firm's supply, but Miller assuages his worries in a phone call, and the Europeans did nothing to change course for more than a decade. On the 1st of December 2014, during a visit to Turkey, Putin said that the South Stream project would not proceed, and 63 billion cubic meters per year, or that number, BCM out of Y, of gas would be shipped to Turkey instead of Bulgaria. Bulgaria is being sued by the European Union for signing a contract with Russia which was not aligned with the European Union regulations. The president of Bulgaria, Rosen Plevneliev, pressured the European Union and Russia to quickly resolve the matter. Subsection 4. Continual rise. On the 4th of September 2012, the European Commission announced the antitrust investigation into Gazprom's activities. This was based on concerns that Gazprom may be abusing its dominating market position in the upstream gas supply markets. In late November 2013, Gazprom expanded its media interest by acquiring Prof Media from Vladimir Putin. On the 21st of May 2014 in Shanghai, Gazprom and the China National Petroleum Corporation made a contract worth $400 billion over 30 years. The contract was for Gazprom to deliver 38 billion cubic meters of natural gas per year to China beginning in 2018. In August of 2014, construction began with pipes for the Power of Siberia pipeline delivered into Lensk, Yakutia. Russia will start supplying gas to China through the Power of Siberia pipeline on the 20th of December 2019 as part of the two countries' $400 billion energy pact. Beijing and Moscow are now negotiating over the second Far East gas pipeline. Needs update. In 2014, Gazprom negotiated with the International Petroleum Investment Company, IPIC, of Abu Dhabi over a 24.9% stake in the Austrian oil and gas firm OMV. In July of 2014, Gazprom acquired Central Partnership in one of the largest firms of distributors in Russia. In September of 2015, the Nord Stream 2 contracts were signed, and by July 2021, the pipeline was commissioned. Subsection 5. Loss of EU revenue. Following the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022, the threat by Russia of reducing the supply of gas to Europe risked the Gazprom export market. When it was implemented, exports of Gazprom fell from 185 BCM achieved in 2021 to 100 BCM in 2002 and fell again in 2023. The revenue of Gazprom, while initially supported by high prices, collapsed in 2023, resulting in a trading loss and a need to increase the price in the domestic market by 34% over 3 years. Gazprom has also opened itself up to compensation claims for the failure to supply gas under long-term contracts. Next area. Supply and reserves. Production. In 2011, Gazprom produced 513.17 billion cubic meters, or 18.122 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, which was 17% of the worldwide production and 83% of Russian production. Of this amount, the Yamburg subsidiary produced 41%, Yerngoy 23.6%, Nedim 10.9%, Novosibirsk 9.3%, and others 5.2%. In addition, the company produced 32.28 million tons of oil and 12.07 million tons of gas condensate. The majority of Gazprom's fields are located in a Nedim Puretaz region near the Gulf of Ob in Yamalo-Nenets Autonomous Okrug in western Siberia. Historically, the three largest fields are Medizi, Yerngoy, and Yamburg. After more than 20 years of production, the fields are now in decline. Production from the fields has decreased by 20 to 25% BCM per year. The production of Zaporizhzhia, Gazprom's fourth largest field, increased until 2004, offsetting the decline of other fields. Since 2004, Gazprom has maintained production by activating new smaller fields and by purchasing production assets from other companies. Gazprom Nefts produced crude oil. In 2005, Gazprom purchased 75% of the Gazprom neft shares for $13.1 billion. There's also a chart right here. I'm not going to read it out. That's kind of weird. Subarea 2. Imports from Central Asia. Gazprom's ability to supply natural gas to the domestic market and for the re-export relied to a large extent on imports from Central Asia. In 2007, Gazprom imported a total of 60.7 billion cubic meters, or 2.14 trillion cubic feet, from Central Asia. 42.6 billion cubic meters, or 1.5 trillion cubic feet, from Turkmenistan. 8.5 billion cubic meters, or 300 billion cubic feet, from Kazakhstan, and 9.6 billion cubic meters, or 340 billion cubic feet, from Uzbekistan. In particular, Gazprom purchased 75% of Turkmenistan's gas exports in order to supply gas to Ukraine. In 2008, Gazprom paid $130 American per MCM to $180 per MCM for gas in Central Asia. Subarea 3 reserves. In 2015, Gazprom's proved and probable reserves of natural gas were 23.705 trillion cubic meters, 837.1 trillion cubic feet, a 3.8% increase from the 2011 figure, which represented 18.4% of the world's reserves. In 2015, the reserves of crude oil were 1.3555 billion tons, and the reserves of gas condensate were 93.3 billion tons. 59.8% of Gazprom's natural gas reserves, categories A plus B plus C1, were located in the Ural Federal District, decreasing. 20.5% in the Arctic Shell, increasing. And 8.3% in the Southern Federal District and the North Caucasus Federal District. New area. Development and exploration. Gazprom invested about 480 billion rubles, or about $20 million American, in new major projects in order to maintain supply. Nearly 37% of Gazprom's reserves are located in the Yamal Peninsula and in the Barents Sea. Subarea 1. Blue Stream Pipeline. One of Gazprom's major projects is the Blue Stream Pipeline. The Blue Stream Pipeline delivers natural gas to Turkey via the Black Sea. In 1997, the Blue Stream Pipeline agreement between Turkey and Russia was signed. In 2000, the first joint was welded. The pipeline transports 16 billion cubic meters each year. Second regional area, Yamal Peninsula. Exploration of the Yamal Peninsula has found reserves of over 10 trillion cubic meters of natural gas and over 500 million tons of oil and gas condensate. About 60% of these reserves are located in Bovenitkovo, Keresenkive, Novoportovo, and that's it. The natural gas production capacity of Bovenitkovo field was estimated to be 115 billion cubic meters per annum, 4.1 trillion cubic feet per annum, with potential to increase to 140 billion cubic meters per annum, 4.9 trillion cubic feet per annum. Now, the Shtokman field is the next regional area. The Shtokman field is one of the world's largest natural gas fields. It is located in the central part of the Barents Sea, 650 kilometers or 400 miles northeast of the city of Murmansk, and 1,000 kilometers or 620 miles west of the Yamal Peninsula. The field is estimated to contain up to 3.7 trillion cubic meters or 130 trillion cubic feet of gas. Potential production of 71 billion cubic meters per annum, 2.5 trillion cubic feet per annum is in the initial phases, with a potential increase to 95 billion cubic meters per annum, 3.4 trillion cubic feet per annum. Gazprom, Total Energies France, and Statoil Norway created a joint company, Shtokman Development AG, for the development of the field. Subarea 4 or 5, I can't really remember. Khanty-Mensisk Autonomous Area, part of the Arctic Shelf. In 2013, Amsterdam, Alexei Miller, a chairman of the Gazprom Management Committee, and Jorma Ollila, chairman of the board of directors, Royal Dutch Shell, signed in the presence of Putin and Mark Rutte, Prime Minister of the Netherlands, a memorandum outlining the principles of cooperation within hydrocarbon exploration and the development in the Arctic Shelf and a section of the Deep Water Shelf. Next, Siberia 5. In 2008, Gazprom carried out about 284.9 kilometers or 177 miles of exploration well drilling. 124,000 kilometers or 77,000 miles of 2D seismic and 6,600 square kilometers or 2,500 square miles of 3D seismic survey. As a result, gas reserves grew by 583.4 billion meters or 20.6 trillion cubic feet, and crude oil and gas condensate reserves grew by 61 million tons. Gazprom carried out prospecting and exploration in foreign countries such as India, Pakistan, Algeria, Venezuela, Vietnam, Libya, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. Next major area, transportation. Gazprom's Unified Gas Supply System, UGSS, includes 158 and 200 kilometers or 98 and 300 miles of gas trunk lines and branches, and 218 compressor stations with a 41.4 GW capacity. The UGSS is the largest gas transportation system in the world. In 2008, the transportation system carries 714.3 billion cubic meters or 25.23 trillion cubic feet of gas. Gazprom was claimed that the UGSS has reached its capacity. Major transmission projects include the Nord Stream pipelines as well as the pipelines outside of Russia. Regional part of the Wikipedia article now called liquefied natural gas. In 2021, Russia had two large liquefied natural gas or LNG production plants, Yamal LNG and Sakhalin 2 LNG, both of which Gazprom is interested in. In March of 2021, the Russian government authorized a long-term program to develop and expand the liquefied natural gas industry in Russia with 9 more LNG plants to address the growing global LNG market. In August of 2021, Russia's first LNG bunkering vessel, the Dmitry Mendeleev, was completed for Gazprom. In October of 2021, Gazprom and the Rusgaz announced that they would build a new plant, Baltic LNG, at Ust-Luga with access to the Baltic Sea for sea transportation westward. It would process ethane containing natural gas with a capacity of 13 million of LNG per year. In 2024, Gazprom faced a significant shortage of LNG tankers, leading to the company to use Marshall Velisivsky Floating Storage and Regasification Unit, FSRU, for the exportation of LNG from Portovaya facility. This shortage occurred because of Gazprom's regular tankers such as Pskov's were involved in extended voyages to Asia, avoiding the Suez Canal and Red Sea due to the security threats from Houthi attacks. Subsection 3 of the Wikipedia article, sales. In 2006, Gazprom sold 316 billion cubic meters or 11.2 trillion cubic feet of gas to domestic customers, 162 billion meters or 5.27 trillion cubic feet to the rest of Europe, and 101 billion cubic meters or 3.6 trillion cubic feet to CIS countries and the Baltic states. Gazprom received about 60% of the revenue from its sales to European customers in 2008. The average gas price paid by Russian industrial companies was $71 per MCM, while households paid an average of $54 per MCM. Since 2000, natural gas prices have fluctuated. In late 2007, the price of natural gas at the New York NYMEX, dumbass, was 7.53 per million British thermal units, 25.7 milliwatts hours. At a conversion of 26 and 4 meters per to the third per million BTU, it would have corresponded to a price of 285 per 1,000 cubic meters. At the time, based on the respective contracts from Gazprom, German customers paid 250 per cubic meter or M to the third, Polish customers 290 per M to the third, and Ukrainian customers 130 per M to the third, and finally Russian customers 49 per M to the third. Since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022, and as a result of falling export value, the domestic market will see price rises of 34% by July of 2025. Subsection of sales of the Wikipedia article export. See also the European energy sector. Gazprom delivered gas to 25 European countries, and the main export arm of Gazprom, Export LLC, founded in 1973 and before the 1st of November 2006, known as Gas Export, which has a monopoly on gas exports to countries outside of the former Soviet Union. The majority of Russian gas in Europe was sold on 25-year contracts. In late of 2004, Gazprom was the sole gas supplier to Bosnia and Herzegovina, Estonia, Finland, Macedonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldavia, Serbia, Slovakia, and it provided 90% of Bulgaria's gas, 89% of Hungary's gas, 86% of Poland's gas, nearly 75% of the Czech Republic's gas, 67% of the Turkey's gas, 65% of Austria's gas, and about 40% of Romania's, 36% of Germany's, 27% of Italy's, 25% of and 25% of France's gas. By December of 2010, with the strong support from Alexei Medvedev and Antonio Falico, who was Russia's honorary consul to Verona, a former Italian communist and a close associate of both Alexei Anatolievich Medvedev and Vladimir Putin, Italia's gas supplies by Russia had greatly increased from 25% in 2004 to 70% in May of 2006. The European received about 25% of its gas supply from Gazprom. In 2006, Gazprom entered several long-term contracts with European companies. The contract prices were mainly linked to oil prices. In 2014, Europe was a source of 40% of Gazprom's revenue. The proportion of Europe's gas brought in the spot market rose from 15% in 2008 to 44% in 2012. In September of 2013, during the G20 summit, Gazprom signed an agreement with CNPC that the Henry Hub index would not be used to settle prices for their trades. In 2014, Putin met with Xi Jinping and negotiated a $400 billion deal between Gazprom and CNPC, and under the contract, Russia was to supply 38 billion cubic meters of gas annually over 30 years at a cost of $35 per 1,000 cubic meters beginning in 2018. In 2013, the average price of Gazprom's gas in Europe was about 380 per 1,000 cubic meters. China offered a loan of about 50 billion to finance development of the gas fields and the construction of the pipeline by Russia up to the Chinese border, with the Chinese to build the Romania pipeline. In January of 2023, as a result of the sanction imposed on Russia as a result of the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, Gazprom announced its exports of gas fell 45% from 185 BCM to 101 BCM, mainly due to the loss of the European market. In 2023, exports fell again, with Europe purchasing just 28 BCM, not a level not seen since the 1970s. Price disputes. On the 1st of January of 2006, during the Russia-Ukraine gas dispute, Gazprom ceased the supply of gas to the Ukrainian market. Gazprom called on the government of Ukraine to increase its payment for the natural gas in line with increasing global fuel prices. During the night of the 3rd of January 2006 and the early morning of the 4th of January 2006, Naftogaz of Ukraine and Gazprom negotiated a deal that temporarily resolved the long-standing gas prices conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Whew. I'm only halfway through. Goddamn! On the 3rd of April 2006, Gazprom announced that it would triple the price of the natural gas to Belarus after the 31st of December 2006. In December of 2006, Gazprom threatened to cease supply of gas to Belarus at 10 a.m. Moscow time on the 1st of January 2007, unless Belarus increases prices from $47 to $200 per 1,000 cubic meters or to cede control over its distribution network. Some analysts suggested Moscow is penalizing Alexander Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, for not delivering on pledges of closer integration with Russia, while others noted that other countries like Armenia were paying as much for gas as Belarus would with the new price levels. Gazprom later requested a price of $105, yet Belarus still refused the agreement. Belarus responded that if the supplies were cut, it would deny Gazprom access to its pipelines, which would impair gas transportation to Europe. However, on the 1st of January 2007, just a few hours before the deadline, Belarus and Gazprom signed a last-minute agreement. Under the agreement, Belarus undertook to pay $100 per 1,000 cubic meter in 2007. The agreement also allowed Gazprom to purchase 50% of the shares of Beltransgaz, the Belarusian pipeline network. Immediately following the signing of the agreement, Belarus declared $42 per ton of transportation tax on Russian oil traveling through the Gazprom pipelines crossing its territory. On the 13th of March 2008, after a 3-day period where gas supplies to Ukraine were halved, Gazprom agreed to supply Ukraine with gas for the rest of the year. The contract removed intermediary companies. On the 1st of April 2014, Gazprom increased the gas price charged to Ukraine from $268.5 to $385.5 per 1,000 cubic meters. Ukraine's unpaid gas bills to Russia stood at $107 billion. On the 30th of October 2014, Russia agreed to resume gas supplies to Ukraine over the winter in a deal brokered by the European Union. Halfway through. Corporate affairs. Gazprom is a vertically integrated company, which owns its supply and distribution activities. Gazprom owns all of its main gas processing facilities in Russia. It operates Russia's high-pressure gas pipelines, and since 2006, it has held a legal export monopoly. Other natural gas producers, such as Novatek, Russia's second-largest gas company, are forced to use Gazprom's facilities for processing and transport of natural gas. At the end of 2008, Gazprom had 221,300 employees in its major gas production, transportation, underground storage, and processing subsidiaries. Of these employees, 9.5% were in management, 22.9% were specialists, and 63.4% were workers, and 4.2% were other employees. Gazprom's headquarters were in the Cheremyrsky district, southwestern administrative okrug of Moscow, until 2021, when they were moved to the Latka Center in the St. Petersburg. There we go. Gazprom is a national champion, a concept advocated by Putin in which large companies in strategic sectors are expected not to seek for profit but also to advance Russia's national interest. For example, Gazprom sells gas to the domestic market at a price far less than the global market. In 2008, Gazprom activities made up 10% of the Russian gross domestic product. Due to large projects, including international pipes like the Nord Stream 1 and the Turkish Stream, Gazprom used a substantial source of revenue for several domestic and suppliers and contractors. Regional area shareholders. As of 2017, Gazprom's main shareholders were the Federal Agency for State Property Management with 38.37% of Rosneft Gaz with 10.97%, together with a 0.89 share of Wozgas in this Yeah. They guaranteed a majority control of the company by the Russian government. The rest of the shares were held by investors, including 25.20% of ADR holders on a foreign stock market and 24.57% by other legal entities and individuals. Gazprom is listed on the stock markets of Moscow and Karachi. It is the top component of MySEX and RTS indices. Gazprom used to be listed on the London, Berlin, Frankfurt, and Singaporean markets before the 2022 sanctions. Subsidiaries. Gazprom has several hundred subsidiaries in Russia and abroad, which are owned and controlled directly or indirectly by the company. It has incorporated a subsidiary in the United Kingdom named Gazprom International UK Limited, and the Netherlands named Gazprom International Projects BV. There we go. Management. Gazprom's board of directors as of the 9th of August of 2015. Viktor Zubkov, chairman of the Russian Special Presidential Representative for Cooperation with Gas Exporting Countries Forum, and the first deputy prime minister of Russia and a former prime minister of Russia. Alexei Miller, deputy chairman and chairman of the management committee, CEO, chairman of Gazprom Bank, former deputy minister of energy of Russia. Andrei Akimov is the chairman of Gazprom Bank. Ferit Gazizulin, former minister of the state property of Russia and a former minister of the property relations of Russia. Timur Kulebayev, chairman of the legal entities department, and Vitaly Markelov, deputy chairman of the management committee. Viktor Martinov, rector of Yupkin, Russian State University of Oil and Gas professor. Vladimir rector Regnum of the Russian Presidential Academy of National Economy and the Public Administration. Valery Mushin, head of the Civil Procedure Department, Faculty of Law, St. Petersburg State University. Alexander Novak, the Minister of Energy of the Russian Federation, and Mikhail Sereda, Deputy Chairman of the Management Committee, Head of the Administration of the Management Committee of Gazprom. Here are the Gazprom Management Committee as of December 2006. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Jesus Christ. Sounds like a white girl at a blackout party. Alexei Miller, Chairman. I already explained that guy. Alexei Miller, Chairman and Deputy Chairman and CEO. Chairman of Gazprom Bank, formerly Deputy Minister of Russia, and a member since 2006. 2001, actually. Valery Golubev, Deputy Chairman, Head of the Department for Construction and Investment, former head of the Vasiliya-Troitsky District. Former member of the Federation Council of Russia, member since the 18th of April 2003. Alexander Kozlov, Deputy Chairman, member since the 18th of March 2005. Andrei Kruglov, Deputy Chairman, Head of the Department for Finance and Economics, member since 2002. Alexei Medvedev, Deputy Chairman, Deputy Chairman of the Board, former Director General of Gazprom Export Presidential of Continental Hockey League. The fuck? And member of the Coordination Committee, Rusk Erkner, Energer, and a Joe. Member since 2002. Mikhail Sereda, Deputy Chairman, Head of Administration, Deputy Chairman of Gazprom Bank. Member since the 28th of December 2004. Sergei Ushakov, Deputy Chairman, member since the 18th of April 2003. Elena Vasilyeva, first woman. Deputy Chairman and Chief Accountant, member since 2001. Or at least the first woman that actually has a woman-like name. Bogdan Buzilyak, Head of the Department of Gas Transportation, Underground Storage, and Utilization, member since 1989. Nikolai Dubik, Head of Legal Department, member since 2008. Konstantin Chuyachenko, Head of the Control Department of Russia, presidential aide to Dmitry Medvedev, and former chairman of Gazprom Media, executive director of Rusuk Energo, former KGB officer, and officially a member since 2002. Viktor Ulyashin, head of the Department of Relations with the Regional Authorities of the Russian Federation, and a member since 1997. Olga Pavlova, head of the Department of Asset Management and Corporate Relations, member since 2004. Vasily Podyuk, head of the Department of Gas, Condensate, and Oil Production, and member since 1997. Vlada Rusekova, head of the Department of Strategic Development, and member since 5th of September 2003. Kirill Seleznev, head of the Department of Marketing, Processing of Gas and Liquid Hydrocarbons, a member of since 2007 or 2002, and a Director General of Mesregionagav Regional Area Sports Sponsorships. Gazprom is the owner and sponsor of the Russian Premier League football club FC Zenit St. Petersburg and other sporting departments, basketball and volleyball, as well as the volleyball club VC Zenit Kazan and the Gazprom Ugra Surgut at Russian Volleyball Super League. Gazprom also owns SKA St. Petersburg of the KHL. On the 1st of January 2007, Gazprom became the sponsor of the German Bundesliga club FC Schalke 04 at the cost of up to 25 million euros per year. On the 23rd of November 2009, the partnership was extended for a further 5 years. Schalke then suspended their sponsorship of Gazprom after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The sponsorship was worth $150 million over 5 years. On the 9th of July 2010, Gazprom became a sponsor of the Serbian Superliga football club Red Star Belgrade. In 2010, Gazprom was a gold partner of the Russian professional cycling team Team Katyusha, together with Iteria and the Russian Technologies Rustic Technology. On the 17th of July 2012, Gazprom became an official global energy partner of the UEFA Champions League of 2012 winners, Chelsea. The sponsorship continued for 3 years to 2015. The September 2013, Gazprom became an official partner of FIFA tournaments from 2015 to 2028. The contract included the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. Gazprom was also a sponsor of the defunct Minyard F1 team in 2002 to 2003. In April of 2001, Gazprom became the sponsor of the International Amateur Boxing Association, AIBA, also the International Boxing Association, as a general partner. The sponsorship became controversial due to the IBA's increased Russian ties under President Umar Kremlev. This partnership ended in 2023. On the 9th of July 2012, Gazprom became the sponsorship of the UEFA Champions League and the UEFA Super Cup. The sponsorship continued for 3 seasons until 2015. In 2021, the partnerships were also extended until 2014. The company was also set to serve as a global partner for the UEFA Euro 2020 and 2024, but due to Russia's invasion of the Ukraine, Gazprom's sponsorship for the Champions League and the Euro 2024 was voided, marking the end of their 10-year partnership in the UEFA environmental record. Gazprom is one of the world's largest greenhouse gas emitters if used of its products are included, as a large part of the greenhouse gas emissions by Russia are from methane leaks and its many gas-fired power plants. Last one. So many. Close that. Geopolitical leverage. Repeatedly, Gazprom has been accused of being a political and economical weapon of Russia, using the supply and price of natural gas to gain control over Europe and, most noteworthy, Ukraine. Regardless of how the standoff over Ukraine developed, one lesson is clear: the excessive dependence on Russia and Russian energy makes Europe weak, said Donald Tusk. Said former Prime Minister of Poland in April of 2014. The friction resulted in two boycotting campaigns in Ukraine, one that started in 2005 and the other in 2013. Russia denies weaponizing energy via Gazprom. In December of 2019, Gazprom paid $2.9 billion in Ukrainian counterpart Naftogaz by order of Stockholm court ruling awarded for damage claims from alleged economic harassment. In the wake of the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, Gazprom has issued with many EU countries and said it would cut off supply to French energy supplier Engie over failure to pay in full for deliveries. This was disputed with the French Energy Transition Minister Agnes Pannier-Runacher, declaring very clearly Russia using its gas as a weapon of war, and we must prepare for a worst-case scenario of complete interruption of supplies. Yukos oil field. Yukonefse Hase Ahule. God damn it. Yukansk Naftogaz was a core production subsidiary of the Yukos oil field, which was previously run by the Russian businessman Mikhail Khodorkovsky. In 2003, the Russian state tax authority charged Yukos and Khodorkovsky with tax evasion. On the 14th of April 2004, Yukos was presented with a bill for over $35 billion in back taxes and demand to pay the entire bill the same day. Request by Yukos to defer payment, allowed payment by installments, or to discharge the debt by sale of peripheral assets, including the shareholders in the Sibnet oil company, were also refused. The bailiffs froze Yukos shares in the Yuganis Gaz on it, and on the 19th of November 2004, they placed a notice on the Russian government newspaper Rossiya Kaya Gazeta. Yuganesha Gaz would be sold at auction 30 days later on the 19th of December 2004. The conditions for the participation in the auction included an advance deposit of $1.7 billion and a prior clearance by the Russian Federal Anti-Monopoly Service. In early December of 2004, Gazprom submitted an application to participate in the auction via its wholly owned subsidiary Gazprom Neft. On the 15th of December 2004, Yukos filed for bankruptcy protection in a Houston court and obtained a temporary injunction prohibiting Gazprom from participating in the auction. On the 19th of December, a group of Western banks withdrew their financial support from Gazprom application. On the same day, Baikal Finance Group, a previously unknown company, applied to participate in the auction. On the 19th of December, only two companies appeared at auction: Gazprom Neft and a Baikal Finance Group. Gazprom Neft declined to place any offer, and the Baikal Finance Group acquired Yuganis Gaz on its first bid. On the 23rd of December 2004, Baikal Unifsgas Group was acquired by Rosneft, and Rosneft later disclosed an annual financial statement that it had financed the acquisition of Yuganevskaz. At the same time, Sergei Bogdanchikov was president of Rosneft and the chief executive officer at Gazprom Neft. Shortly after the auction, the planned merger between Gazprom and Rosneft was abandoned, and Bogdanchikov resigned his post of chief executive officer at Gazprom Neft. On the 7th of February 2006, in a response to the question by the Spanish journalist Vladimir Prun, disclosed that Rosneft had used Baikal Finance Group as a vehicle to acquire Yuganevskaz in order to protect itself from litigation. Antitrust. On the 22nd of April of 2015, Gazprom was charged by the European Commission with using territorial restrictions to engage in anti-competitive behavior and using its dominate position and to impose unfair prices. The company was accused of preventing competition in Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Slovakia. The territorial restrictions prevented the import of gas at potentially more competitive prices. The restrictions also prevented gas from reaching areas of high demand and avoiding areas of excessive supply. Gazprom was also accused of compelling entities to consent to the now defunct South Stream pipeline by necessitating it consent clause in long-term contracts. In 2018, Gazprom agreed to a settlement which involved dropping all contractual barriers to a free flow of gas in the Central and Eastern European gas markets and to take various steps to improve economic cooperation. Customers would give an explicit contractual right to trigger a price review when prices paid diverge from a competitive price benchmarks and be allowed more frequent and efficient price reviews. Gazprom agreed not seek any damages from its Bulgarian partners. Following the termination of the South Stream project, had the case gone to court, the company could have been forced to pay up the fines of $12 billion. And in 2020, Gazprom agreed to reimburse Poland's PG&IG close to $1.5 billion for years, compelling it to overpay for gas supplies. Methane leaks. Let's just... In 2021, a massive methane plume over Russia resulted from a partial shutdown of a Gazprom BGSC pipeline for emergency repair. The company said that the repairs, which took place over the 4th of June, released 2.7 million cubic meters or 1,830 metric tons of methane. That amount had roughly the same short-term planet warming impact of 40,000 international combustion cars in the U.S. driving for a year, according to the Environmental Defense Fund. The climate warming effect of the methane is judged to be 86 more times powerful than the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Holy shit. Nord Stream pipeline. Nord Stream is a system of offshore natural gas pipelines in Europe, running under the Baltic Sea from Russia to Germany. The pipelines are owned and operated by the subsidiaries of Gazprom. The Nord Stream projects have been fiercely opposed by the United States and Ukraine, as well as by Central and Eastern Europe countries, because of the concerns that the pipelines would increase Russia's influence on Europe, and because of the knock-on reduction in transit fees for the use of existing pipelines in Central and Eastern European countries. Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz suspended the certification of Nord Stream 2 on the 22nd of February 2022 because Vladimir Lenin led Russia to recognize the Donetsk and Luhansk regions of Ukraine as independent republics. On the 2nd of March 2022, the report said that the Nord Stream 2 AG, a Gazprom subsidiary, had ended business operations and laid off all 106 members of staff and as a resulting international sanctions through early reports that had filed for bankruptcy were denied. On the 22nd of September 2022, a severe drop in pressure in both NS1 and NS2 were associated with the rupture in both pipelines due to sabotage. The Greenpeace protests against Arctic drilling. Gazprom's oil drilling in the Arctic has drawn protests from the environmentalist groups, particularly Greenpeace. Greenpeace has opposed oil drilling in the Arctic on the ground that the oil drilling damages the Arctic ecosystem and that there are no safety plans to prevent oil spills. In 2012, the Greenpeace has staged protests against Pure as Alumina oil platform, the world's first offshore Arctic drill site. And on 18th of September 2013, the Greenpeace vessel MV Arctic Sunrise staged a protest and attempted to board Gazprom's Pure as Alumina platform. Greenpeace stated that the drill site could cause massive disruption to the Arctic ecosystem after arresting 2 campaigners attempting to climb the rig. The Russian Coast Guard seized control of the Greenpeace ship by dropping down from a helicopter and arresting 30 Greenpeace activists. Arctic Sunrise was towed by Russian Coast Guard to Murmansk. The Russian government intended to charge Greenpeace campaigners with piracy and hooliganism, which carried a maximum penalty of 15 years imprisonment. The Greenpeace argued that the operatives were in international waters and the government actions generated protests from the government worldwide. According to Phil Radford, executive director of Greenpeace in the U.S. at the time, the reaction of the Russian Coast Guard and the courts were stiffest response that Greenpeace ever encountered from Russia since the bombing of the Rainbow Warrior in 1985. The fuck? The charges of piracy were dropped in October 2013. In November 2013, 27 of the 30th reactivists were released on bail. On May 14th of 2014, the shipment of Arctic oil arrived at the refinery in the Netherlands and purchased by the French company Total Energies. The episode is portrayed in a 3-hour television documentary On Thin Ice, Putin versus Greenpeace. 3 more to go. Okay. Following Russia's continued aggression towards Ukraine, the U.S. tightened its debt financing restrictions on the Gazprom bank. On the 17th of July 2014, on the 12th of September 2014, the United States barred U.S. persons from selling goods and services to Gazprom and Gazprom Neft in the connection with certain deepwater Arctic offshore and shale products. On the 31st of July 2014, the EU placed financial restrictions on Gazprom Bank. On the 8th of September 2014, the EU placed financial restrictions on the Gazprom Neft. In April of 2018, the United States placed CEO Alexei Miller among the specially designated nationals. This sanction bars U.S. individuals and entities from having any dealings with him. Entities outside the U.S. jurisdiction may also face punishment if the U.S. government is deemed that they are aiding a sanctioned entity. Miller himself claimed to be proud of this sanction not being included in the first list. I have even had some doubts. Maybe something is wrong with me, but I am finally included. This means we are doing everything right, Miller said through a spokesperson. In December of 2019, the U.S. sanctioned firms involved in the Nord Stream 2 project. And on the 24th of February 2022, upon the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, the U.S. expanded penalties on the Nord Stream 2 AG and the subsidiary of Gazprom and sanctioned its CEO, Matthias Warnig. It also expanded debt and equity prohibitions against Gazprom Bank, Gazprom, and Gazprom Neft. In addition, following the invasion in March 2022, the European Union formally approved a ban on investments in the Russian energy sector, including Gazprom Neft. The UK banned Gazprom from its debt and equity markets on the 2nd of March 2022 and sanctioned Gazprom Neft on the 24th of March 2022, and the Gazprom board members on the 1st of March 2023. And the Gazprom Energy, a UK firm, stated that its supply is of 28% of non-domestic gas volume in the Great Britain. We source our gas through commodity exchanges in exactly the same way as our competitors, and we do not depend on gas supplies from Russia. Effects of the sanctions. In 2022, due to the economic sanctions, Gazprom took an unprecedented step of suspending dividends for the first time since 1998. On the 18th of July 2022, amid the Nord Stream first maintenance period, the Gazprom sent a letter of declaration of force majeure, declaring that due to extraordinary circumstances, it could not guarantee gas supply. And on the 26th of September 2022, there was a rupture in both pipes due to sabotage. In the first half of the 2022, Gazprom made high profits, roughly equaling the profit for the whole of 2021 due to high prices. In the second half of 2022 and into 2023, Gazprom probably did not make a profit at all as a result of failing exports. Overall, Gazprom made a profit of 1.226 trillion rubles, or 15.77 billion in 2022. Down 40% after extra tax was levied in late 2022. And on the 19th of December 2022, the European energy ministers agreed on a price cap for national gas at 180 euros per megawatt hour, aiming to stop Russia forcing European gas prices upwards. Exports of gas by Gazprom from Russia in 2021 was 185 BCM. In 2022, it fell by 45% to 100 BCM. And in 2023, it fell again to 62 BCM. Regional area, prime army. In February 2023, Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin signed an order giving the Gazprom the right to form its own private army, reducing and ceasing supplies to gas companies. After the February 22 invasion of Ukraine and the West introducing sanctions, Western gas companies continued to pay normally Gazprom bank accounts in euros and dollars, which meant that the funds became blocked by sanctions. On the 31st of March, President Vladimir Putin signed a Decree 172, requiring payment to be made by alternate means. A number of Western companies refused to pay, except in accordance with the contracts, according to Gazprom, ceased to apply to those companies. There had also been cases of short delivery by Gazprom. This created the 2022-2023 Russia-European Union gas dispute. Arbitration cases through the International Court of Arbitration have been stated by a number of Western companies with long-term contracts for damaging due to short supply or cessation of the supplies and breach of Gazprom's contractual obligations, including Germany's Uniper, which is claiming 11.6 billion euros compensation from Gazprom, and the ANGI, which opened proceedings in the February of 2024 for 2023 for a short delivery. Gazprom went on to arbitration for 300 million euros for unpaid gas from Gazprom in Finland, which arbitration decided was payable, but not in rubles. India's Gail is also seeking compensation through London Arbitration Court over the Gazprom short delivery of LNG to India, which were disputed by sanctions against a Gazprom subsidiary in Germany. Alright. If you, for some reason, listened the whole way through, thank you. Subscribe. Goodbye. I'm out making another 10 of these eventually.